Matt Money Smith here from Believe in Chargers, and I am reaching out to you, the small business owners, to talk to you about my friends at Gusto, because they can help you out. You want to have your hands in everything. It's your business. It's got your name on it. I get it. But how about running that business a little bit tighter and cutting some of the stuff that maybe you don't want to use your valuable time on, and that is payroll, HR. Let Gusto help you get your time back because every hour counts. So what is Gusto? It's an online payroll and benefits software that's built for small businesses. It is all in one. It is remote friendly. It is incredibly easy to use, and you can pay, hire, onboard, and support your team from anywhere. What does that give you? Saves time. You got built-in automated tools. You got offer letters, onboarding docs, direct deposits, so much more, not to mention direct access to certified HR experts. They are going to help support you through any tough HR situation. So try Gusto today at gusto.com/believe. That's GUSTO.com/believe, BLEAV. And you're going to get 3 months free when you run your first payroll. Again, that is 3 months of free payroll at gusto.com/believe. Again, one more time, gusto.com/believe.
Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
Hey, welcome back to Raising Howl. It's just me, Jeremy Harper of the Believe Network, an offshoot of Fun Belt Podcast. Here we stick to talking about Arkansas State Red Wolves, a little bit about the Sun Belt and where things are. But I want to talk about a little something that happened to me on my way back home from Jonesboro yesterday. I live in Little Rock. And I drive a Subaru. Yeah, it's one of those, not the Outback, it's the Crosstrek, right? It's kind of sporty for a Subaru. But it's not ostentatious. It doesn't have like a lot of bells and whistles. Really blends in. And I was just telling somebody in Jonesboro how my Subaru is invisible. Invisible to cops. They can't see me. I used to drive this Dodge Challenger. I got pulled over all the time. I was speeding, I get it. I was pulled over all the time. But in the Subaru, it's like it's invisible to the police. I do occasionally speed. I try not to go too far above the speed limit. But, well, sometimes I do. I think we're all guilty of that. So I'm on my way back from Jonesboro to Little Rock, confident in my belief that I am invisible to the police, and I get pulled over. Right there in North Little Rock. About 10 miles from my house. That sucked. So I am not invisible to the police. Karma has made that abundantly clear to me. I was telling somebody in Jonesboro, I am invisible to the police because I drive a Subaru. Nobody wants to pull over somebody in a Subaru. There's no glory in that. Anyway, I will be paying my price to society. So, yeah, I've been looking back on the year that was for Arkansas State sports, 2025, 2026. It's about to end. It has ended, actually, for us, right? Our two dudes, Chen and Hussein, competed in the Eugene, Oregon National NCAA Championships, right? Those are our two representatives for the Red Wolves track and field. Menachem Chen, which I probably mispronounced, and Omar Hussein. And, you know, they both got their honorable mentions, and they're all district. I think Chen, I believe, ended up in 14th. Hussein a little bit lower. And that was the end. That was the end of the sporting year for us, right? There's still baseball being played, but we're not in that. That's Troy. We'll talk a little bit about that in a second. But looking back on the season, I was a little surprised. You remember the bad parts, right? You remember getting clobbered by Arkansas, or when Arkansas State men's basketball got beat by Rice again. Jeez. You remember that baseball collapse? Those are the things you remember. You remember the football team losing to Louisiana when we really needed to win that game? Well, I got a surprise for you. It was a surprise to me. Arkansas State had a really good year. Listen to the things that we got to enjoy. We got to enjoy a bowl game. We got to enjoy a no-hitter. A couple NCAA tournament visits. We were in the Final Four for bowling. We won an NIT title for tennis. We had 3 victories over Arkansas. Yeah, the Razorbacks don't like to talk about that. Beat them in volleyball, women's basketball. Beat them in a game of baseball. They barely beat us a second time, 1-0. I mean, how can we complain about that year? I don't know if we can. I don't know if we have the right to. I will say, let's just go through them all real quick. The season starts with football. We finished the season 7-6. Ends with a victory over Missouri State in the first ever Xbox Bowl. And let me tell you, the Xbox Bowl was fun. Some of you guys think of it like, oh, the Xbox Bowl. It was fun. You should have been there. It was good. We had 1-point victories over South Alabama, Texas State, Appalachian State. I mean, that's a lot of drama. Maybe too much drama, but there was a lot of drama. I think we feel like the football season was a bit of a, lost opportunity because, one, we were in the mix for the Sun Belt West for a long time, and all we had to do was close escrow. Easier said than done, I know. We lose to ULM. First time in 16 tries? I think we won 15 in a row, and then the 16th. We get that long-awaited dust-up with Arkansas. Oh, man, we've been waiting for this for a while. Some of you will pretend that you weren't waiting for it, but we were. There's a big crowd, big game, lovely day in Little Rock. War Memorial was hopping, and we laid an egg. We did. At the moment, we had the run back from the kick return. That was fun. There are a couple, I thought, bad calls, but, whatever. We were overmatched. Arkansas's quarterback looked bigger than our linebackers. Yeah, so we laid an egg. And then we lose that must-win game against Louisiana, which just seemed to suck the air right out of the season. Just suck the air. Yeah, that's what that's, bowl win. Okay. All right. That's a good note. It was kind of a meh season for Arkansas State. A winning season? Hey, I'll take it. But, man, we got to get over this hump. Red Wolves volleyball. Very good. Program is back. Man, we took care of business against Arkansas, humbled a ranked Missouri team, went 12-4 in the conference, won the Sun Belt tournament, which included wins against Texas State and James Madison, and we got into the NCAA tournament. That's great. And the only thing that was a negative, in my opinion, was that we could have beaten Baylor in the first round of the tournament. We could have beat them. We had them. You could tell Baylor's like, oh, my God, what have we gotten ourselves into? Red Wolves lost, but what a great season. Like the opposite of that would be Red Wolves soccer. Yeah, the soccer team struggling. 2-6-2 conference record. We have 4 ties. Is there anything more unsatisfying in sports than a soccer tie? Hey, nobody won. Really, the only good thing that happened all year was a 10-0 victory over UAPB. Nothing good really came out of soccer this year. It started off okay. We had a couple wins early in the season. Our goalie looked really good. We can't score. We don't have anybody who can attack the goal. Red Wolves women's basketball. Man, what a year, right? Just firing up 3-pointers. Loved it. You got a team. If you have a team that fires up 3-pointers, you got to hit them, right? And Red Wolves basketball, women's basketball, they do. They hit them. Went to the NCAA tournament last year. This year, didn't quite make that mark. We couldn't get past Troy. Couldn't get past Marshall. Got shut out in the MAC Sunbelt Challenge. So there were points. You look at A-State basketball, and yes, great outside shooting. Chrislyn Rose is amazing to watch. She's coming back next year. But we need some height. And congratulations to us for keeping Destiny Rogers. Congratulations for that. I thought she was going to be on her way out. There's a lot of press around her, a lot of buzz. Look what she's done to Arkansas State, a program that was floundered under her for a couple of years. Now one of the most entertaining programs at Arkansas State. We kept her. We kept Destiny Rogers. Great. Red Wolves men's basketball. Hey, we swept the MAC Challenge, the MAC Sunbelt Challenge. That was cool. Kicked Texas State out of the door. They're on their way to the pretend 12. Ryan Pannone put together a really good team considering what he had to work with, right? Comes in, everybody's gone. Brian Hodgson takes the best pieces. And so, yeah, he brought together a group of guys that had never played together before and molded them into a team. Got, more than 20 wins. That's always good. Except there weren't any memorable wins, but there were horrendous losses. Rice, South Alabama, Stephen F. Austin, Troy, James Madison. Why can we not beat James Madison? A one-and-done appearance in the Sun Belt tournament. It was a meh year, all in all, for Ryan Pannone's first year. It was all right. I mean, listen, I know what the challenges are, okay? I know what the challenges are at Arkansas State men's basketball. And Pannone is a guy who's going to rise to that challenge. But if you look at it as in terms as a fan, say, hey, I want to see excellence out of this program, we didn't receive excellence. It didn't happen. Pannone went back to the drawing board, picked up some size, kept a couple guys. Wish he had kept a couple more. I mean, that's the key to winning in the Sun Belt is just having a few guys, a few holdovers. We'll see. Red Wolves bowling. They won the Sun Belt. I'm sorry. They were runners-up in the Conference USA tournament. It's weird that they're not in the Sun Belt. It's kind of bizarre. Maggie Toma throws up a 300 against Sam Houston. 300 she rolls. That's perfect. Nothing but strikes. And once again, Red Wolves back in the NCAA tournament. It's not the Red Wolves' best team, but they get into the Final Four anyway. Their exit is pretty quick out of the Final Four, yes. One day we are going to get over that hump. Man, Justin Kostick has built an extraordinary program at Arkansas State. But man, when are we going to bring that natty home to Jonesboro? Come on. We got to get it done. Being runners up, Final Four, we've been there. It's time to seal the deal. Coffee is for closers. I want to deliver a bunch of Starbucks to Caustic. Red Wolves tennis. Have you ever paid attention to Red Wolves tennis? I haven't. It's a program. It's a program that Arkansas State has, and, great. All of a sudden, Red Wolves tennis under Sujay Lama. It's amazing. It's had 2 great seasons in a row, 16-9 this year. Concluded with an NIT championship. Are you kidding me? There's really nothing you can get upset with Arkansas State tennis. You can't. It's a good program. While the school out west needs to beg donors to keep the program open, we're winning NIT championships. The premier tennis program in Arkansas is Arkansas State. Congratulations to those women. They were badass. Golf. Thomas Schmidt, probably the best golfer to ever come through Arkansas State history. Leads an international cast for the first time to the NCAA finals. I think we finished like 17th or 18th. It's okay. Finished right around where the Hogs finished. Great season for Arkansas State. Coach Mike Hagan, he's been here for a little while now, more than a decade, slowly building up this team. Knows what it takes to win. Earned Coach of the Year this year. Schmidt delivered a top 20 NCAA individual performance. Good luck to Thomas Schmidt, the German who sounds like Conway Twitty. Where'd you get that Southern accent, man? A-State women, not so good. A-State women, they've had their time several years ago. I think the coach ended up going to ULM. Some about Red Wolves women golfers, they just really couldn't get it together. Yeah. Couldn't scramble into the top. Always sort of in the back of the pack. I'm chalking it up to a rebuild. We'll be back. A-State baseball. Man, that first half, guys. Oh, man. Finally. Great baseball coming to Jonesboro. Compelled me to come to a bunch of games. I don't go to a lot of A-State baseball games. It was a great time. Record crowds. Hopping beer garden. We had guys hitting homers. We had guys throwing strikes. Solid fielding. And then, we beat Southern Miss. We beat Arkansas. Take 1 of 2. Could have taken 2 of 2. Sweep Louisiana Tech. We take 2 of 3 from Southern Miss. And it feels like Arkansas State is going to make an appearance in the NCAA. It feels like it, right? We go to Georgia. We go to Georgia State. We go to Atlanta. It's not even really Atlanta. Some temporary baseball park for the Panthers as they get their stadium built. And we don't look like the same team anymore. We just don't. Batters look confused at the plate. Pitchers not throwing strikes anymore. Goofball errors. Mike Silva having to pull a miracle to beat JMU. wasn't the same team. I can't explain it. Maybe it's fatigue. It's a long season. Maybe it was just like, okay, they figured us out. Maybe it's the grind of the Sun Belt. Sun Belt put, 5 programs in the NCAAs this year? We'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. Yeah, kind of a thud. Arkansas State had their chances, too, at the end of the season to at least get into the Sun Belt tournament. They had their chances. Blew it against Texas State, blew it against ODU, blew it against Louisiana, blew it against South Alabama to finish the season. Just blew it. They didn't have it. They were out of – if they were throwing fastballs, if they're throwing 95 miles per hour at the beginning of the year, that fastball had sunk down to about 82. Just couldn't do it. Congratulations to Kyler Tengler for tossing the no-hit gem against UA Little Rock, who would go on to contribute in the ousting of Southern Miss in the tournament that Southern Miss was hosting. We'll talk a little bit about that later. But we'll wrap this up with the track and field. Track and field. We talked about Chen and Hussein. They got their distinctions. It was good. All right. Just 2 guys, though, in the NCAA championships. Overall, we qualified 12 athletes in the NCAA West first round. Indoors, a little blah, too. What happened? What happened to Arkansas State track and field? Well, I'll tell you what happened. NIL. We keep losing our big stars. Because if you got a little bit of NIL for track and field, then you have an advantage. I don't know what we have for track and field. I mean, we have a great program. We got great facilities. We've got a great track record. Do we have a big bank account? I don't know. I hope we can get it back together, though, because track and field is something that it's sort of an Arkansas State trademark, right? You have good track and field. Hopefully we get it back. So overall, a pretty solid year for Arkansas State. You can read more about my penetrating insight, howlrazor.com. It was the pretty good of times. It was the May of times. It was mostly good. We should be proud. Good work, Chris Pesman. Good work, A-State athletic department. Good work to all the coaches. Well done. Yeah, I want to finish this up, wrap it up. Talk a little bit about the NCAA baseball tournament. Yeah. First round, 5 Sun Belt teams are in it. Let's count them off. You had Southern Miss that hosted their own regional. You had Coastal Carolina, which has won the whole damn thing before, recently came in second. You have the Cajuns, traditionally the Sun Belt powerhouse, came on strong at the end of the season to get in. You had Texas State, not really a Sun Belt program in my mind anymore. They're off to the pretend 12. And then you had Troy, the Trojans, who struggled at the beginning of the year, just struggled. They played top-notch opponents. That's why their RPI was so good. They went out and played. They did get a couple wins. I think they had like a win over Georgia or something like that. They beat us. They made us look bad. But they struggled all year. They finally kind of found their rhythm. They were picked, if you remember. Troy was picked to be one of the top Sun Belt teams this year. Then when they come up to that slow start, and by slow start, just not getting the wins, they just fell off the map. They're I think, declared among the last 4 in. Well, lo and behold, they're the only ones who made it through the next rounds, right? They're the only ones right now, or then they became the only ones in the in the World Series, which is great. But we had 4 fairly quick exits for the Sun Belt. Southern Miss gets bounced out from its own regional. Can't beat UA Little Rock. Gets beat again. They're out almost immediately. Cajuns, they stick around. They win, they lose, they're out. Coastal Carolina can't seal the deal. Texas State didn't really care if they won or lost, but they lost. All in the first round. Troy is in the World Series. And you've got to think that when UA Little Rock came out of that Southern Miss regional, that Hattiesburg regional, you got to think that they were like, yes, the path is clear. Heck, we no-hit those guys. Red Wolves beat them twice. I know. It was midweek, but still. So I can't decide. Sunbelt is spinning it as, hey, we're in the World Series again. Way to go, Troy. We're great, but man, we've got to stop with these quick first-round exits. We got to. When we're hosting a regional, we can't afford to get punted out that ingloriously. We just can't. If we're going to continue calling ourselves a major baseball conference, then we've got to start winning these games in the postseason. We do. We can't just be like, oh, well, that's the way the baseball is thrown. We got to get it done. But go Troy. Go Troy. I can't even say their names. Go Troy. It's so hard. I will now slip into a 100-year coma.